Hi, everybody. Doug Jenkins with the Findlay-Hancock County Chamber of Commerce with you on our YouTube channel once again. A feature we like to do every month or so where we reach out to different experts in different fields and get you the information that you need to know to be sure to make sure that you can run your business successfully. And especially given everything we're dealing with right now, that is a big, big deal. Katie Stover is joining us from Wimbly Stoke in Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm a little outside of Baltimore in Maryland, but it works. Yeah, from
Okay.
Ohio, Baltimore works.
All right, I'm going to ask you this one question. I'll let it. I should have vetted this beforehand. You're not a Ravens fan, are you?
Well, technically, my family's an old Redskins family, so
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah, so I'm a little torn now.
Well, in Northwest Ohio, a lot of us lean towards the Browns, and so we don't have any love lost towards this
Yeah,
towards
towards the
the
Ravens. I understand.
Ravens. So,
Yeah, definitely.
all right. But look, regardless of football allegiances, you're an expert in your field. Tell us a little bit about Wimbly Stoke before we get started here.
Absolutely. Wimbly Stoke is a strategic marketing firm. We're a consultancy, a two-person consultancy, and we work with all sorts of different businesses to really help them translate, in our words, what their customers need to hear from them.
Well, I got in connection with Katie on LinkedIn a few weeks ago. And what I like to do is just go on, see what headlines are trending and see what experts are saying about it. And the one that really caught my attention was marketing right now and advertising in this day and age. It is a whole different ball of wax. And I think the first thing to address is what people should do with their ad and marketing strategies right now. A lot of people just say, things are unsure. I'm going to cut that budget. And we've talked about that a little bit with our members. That's not always the wisest decision. Sometimes it's what you have to do, but maybe you look at other things first.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, well, I'm so glad you had reached out because I'd shared an article from the New York Times about that advertising has been cut 25%, probably not going to rebound until 2021, maybe 2022. So what are people doing? And most of our clients, and then just a lot of small businesses I've talked to, a lot of businesses in general, have slashed their marketing in general, pretty much across the board. So it's what do you keep? What do you lose? Important thing to remember for pretty much everybody is you're just going to look for what is the biggest bang for your buck. So what can you retain that's still going to have a really big impact with your customers? So we're recommending try to decipher where your customers find you, how they connect with you, and what really makes an impact with them, because that's really what you're going to want to retain. So it could be advertising, but marketing's not only advertising. So try to think about sponsorships. What are you really doing with the community? How are you as your business staying involved? How can you really make that connection? Because that's what's going to turn someone just considering to make a purchase or to do business with you into a true business engagement.
Well, and that kind of dovetails into the next part of what I wanted to talk to you about is in making that connection with your customer or with your target audience, there has to be this authenticity. And I think that given one, COVID, two, everything that happened in June with Black Lives Matter and everything else, there's been a real effort from businesses to really deliver on that authenticity part. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a social agenda or anything like that, but what we know about the customers that a lot of businesses are targeting, they want that authenticity, they want that expertise, and you have to be able to deliver that in your messaging.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really well said. So authenticity is this weird little buzzword that we've been obsessed with as marketers for years now. It's almost overused at some points, but it's so important now more than ever. And a lot of people are really talking about the brand, coming back to the brand. And that really just means coming back to what matters to you as a business owner, as a business. What do you really stand for? What are you going to provide to your customers? And they tend to be some things that are just like quality, consistency, customer service, but then what does that actually mean? How can you show that in every single interaction that you have with your customers, whenever you're showing your product, if you get the opportunity to, because those opportunities in this world we're living in now are few and far between. It's much more difficult to get in front of your customers right now. So when you do have that opportunity, you really have to speak through your values and speak through everything that it really means to you. And trying to do little things that just go, outside of the box. That's what I would try and recommend to as many people as possible, where, the tactics you used last year probably aren't going to work, which is terrifying for most people. It certainly is for us, but it's also extremely exciting. And so just being able to try something new, try something a little different, go outside of your comfort zone with your advertising to understand what is really going to make an impact. So business owners, you know your customers, you know who they are, sometimes by name, and you know, in small towns that we're really used to, you normally know who you're talking to. So how do you actually make a connection with them? Use words and phrases and environments that they're really going to recognize.
And a couple things on that authenticity standpoint is if you're going to go for that, you really do have to deliver, and in your messaging as well. There are ways that can backfire. I look at the what was it, the Kylie Jenner Pepsi commercial from a couple of years back that
Yeah.
did not play well. So you really have to be very measured in your approach this way.
You do. Yeah. And actions do speak louder than words. That's, I mean, it's an old adage and it still runs through today. So you can run an advertisement saying, you know, that you're really open, you know, workplace, which is a really easy one. Though if the people that work for you are all looking the same, well, then that's pretty obvious what you actually stand for or what you don't stand for. So it's really important to kind of remember those things and to think that marketing is not only colors, it's not only fonts and pretty pictures, but it's really actions and it's just the communication with your customer and your employees.
Let's play that out just a little bit. We have a lot of members who are small restaurants in town here.
Yeah.
Have been hit hard by COVID and things like that, having to shut down their actual in-person dining for several months, although we have that back to a degree now. What are some beats maybe they look for in terms of trying to deliver this message?
Yeah. Oh boy, restaurants. There's so many.
It's,
Oh yeah.
restaurants themselves are a diverse group because they have so many different menu items, but and different focuses. But I guess I
Yeah.
went out there with a lot of different angles. But if you want to
Yeah.
take one example and run with it, that'd be great.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah. And I actually looked up a little bit about Finley beforehand and just trying to get a good idea of like what it looked like and when, you know, what's going on in the town. And I saw the Jolly Dipper, I think it was called,
Yeah,
ice cream shop. And I was like, oh, I love this town already. Yep. It'd be a very noteworthy customer probably of that place. Is adorable. So boy, restaurants. I've seen all sorts of different tactics for restaurants so far, and some, on the whole, they're being extremely communicative. So some places, you know, small little restaurants that have that local love don't always need to be really active on social media in the past because they have that customer base that's always going to come to them no matter what. They're thinking, oh, it's Wednesday, so I'm going to go on Wednesday, or it's Taco Tuesday, I'm going to go get a taco. Like that's the normal thing. Now, it's so important to be really strong in communicating what you need to get out there with your customers. So how are you responding to the crisis? How are you responding to the movement? How are you actually getting the food to your customers? What are the different ways that people can talk to you? There's a whole just a lot of amount of information to get out there. And in terms of being, we talked about being like open-minded and trying new things. I think that's probably the most important place to do that is restaurants. I've seen a lot of people flipping menus and just trying to, or instead of flipping your menu, bring it back to a smaller menu and say, this is what we really, really do well. And this is how we're going to deliver it to you. We're still here. We're still in business. And this is really what we're acting to do.
sometimes just doing the basics.
Yeah. And I have seen a lot of people really getting some strength with their customers after being really active with the community in terms of, you know, buy one, give one type solutions, which is just kind of like warms my heart to see in general in a local community. But then it kind of spirals into a lot of people wanting to support that business because of it. So again, actions speak louder than words, even with marketing.
I want to turn it around and look at this from the other angle as well. We've talked a lot about just your marketing and your ad dollars, things like that. We do have a lot of members who are their revenue is based on ad and marketing sales,
Yes.
and you know that's certainly a tough pot right now. What are the things that they can be doing to try and either keep those ad dollars rolling in or refocusing energies on different areas to try and generate revenue in non-traditional ways?
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good question. Yeah. In general, my big recommendation is just to be very flexible. So ad reps, there's kind of just this understandable flow of working with your customers. As an ad coming in, okay, we're going to check in with you. Hey, it's due next week. But in general, being really flexible with giving them some more time, if possible, with deadlines is a big one. With payments is a really obvious one. And then trying to understand that just like I gave some advice of advertising is also your actions. You know, marketing isn't just the pretty pictures. If as soon as you guys can realize, you guys being ad reps, that that's how customers are considering it, then you need to think, okay, what's that next bigger picture that I can give to them? So is it more things on social media? Is it following? Is it sharing? Is it liking, which has been done for a long time? But then what is that next extra mile and next extra time saver that you can give to your clients? Because really everybody's working overtime, everybody's working short staffed. A lot of people are out of business for 2 weeks at a time, if someone contracted COVID. So what can you give to your customers to say, I understand what you're going through. Let's get this ad out there. And these are my ideas. What if we did it this way? This is what we can do.
Great advice. Katie, we appreciate you joining us today. If people want to learn more from you or want to reach out to you, what's the best way they can get in touch with you?
Best ways to go to our website, wimblystoke.com, or to follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram.
All right, and we're going to continue to provide these informational updates on our YouTube channel. And of course, we'll be providing those through our e-newsletter as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to make sure you get the latest updates as they come out. For Katie, I'm Doug Jenkins with the Findlay Hancock County Chamber of Commerce.